Hey, today I wanted to talk about the pros and cons of outdoor tortoise keeping. I wasn't aware that the decision to keep them inside versus outside was controversial or a cause for judgment, but honestly, I'm not surprised. Reptile keepers can be very close minded, and my way or the highway is a common mindset. There is no one right way to keep tortoises. I advocate for keeping tortoises outside at least some of the time if possible, but I hope I've never come across as looking down on those who don't. There are a lot of downsides to outdoor keeping to go along with the upsides. So, first of all, how do I decide if a tortoise that I have is going to go outside or not? First, I compare where I live, Jacksonville, Florida, to a city within the tortoise's native range. You can look that up online. I picked up a trick from mountaintortoise.com, which is very cool. They recommend a site called weatherbase.com, and this allows you to compare climate data between two cities. Look at the average temperature, humidity, rainfall, high and low temperatures year-round. They don't have to match exactly, but if there's little to no overlap, like if you have a desert species and live somewhere tropical, like Florida, then maybe you're better off keeping your tortoise inside, where you have better control over the environment. Here, I'm comparing my city, Jacksonville, Florida, to a city within the range of Menorrhea emys fayeri, also known as the Black Mountain tortoise. You can see the high, low, and average temps match up pretty closely. This is one of the reasons I've started looking into keeping Menorrhea. Here's a comparison of my city with a city in Brazil within the range of both redfoots and yellowfoots. I was surprised at how little overlap there is in both temperature and humidity. In their native range, redfoots and yellowfoots have much less variability than we do here. The closer you are to your tortoise's native climate, the less adjustments you will need to make. If the climates are similar at least part of the year, then look into setting up a safe outdoor enclosure. My Greek tortoise spends days out when the weather is above 60 or below 95. He does not go out more than an hour or two when the heat or humidity are extreme. My adult redfoot is outside year-round with supplemental heat in the winter. My juvenile redfoots and yellowfoots spend the summer outside. Pay close attention to minimum and maximum temps in their native range. Just because they can tolerate well beyond that doesn't mean it's healthy or safe for them. Some of the reasons I would not put a tortoise outside are incompatible climate, lack of a predator-proof enclosure for smaller species, age, under 1 to 2 years old, I really wouldn't do it, a rare or sensitive species that needs more control over the environment, health issues, or having an inappropriate outdoor environment, such as pesticide use that's beyond your control, predators, etc. I also monitor them when I first transition from indoors to outdoors, and if they're hiding all the time or losing weight, they come back inside while I troubleshoot. I make sure they are eating, still getting soaked, and displaying the same behaviors they did when inside. Having outdoor tortoises is a different mindset to keeping them inside. You have to let go of the precise control you have with lighting and thermostat-controlled temperatures. You have to deal with weather extremes. Like this last weekend for us was over 100 both days. Yesterday was 109 heat index. I had to run the sprinklers often to help bring the temps down. There are times where we can get 2 inches of rain in an hour. I have to watch to make sure none of the enclosures flood. In the winter, we do get below freezing, so heat panels have to be constantly monitored. On top of the weather, you have possible parasites or viruses they can pick up from the environment. Predators are also a concern. There's mosquitoes, chiggers, biting flies, and fire ants. So what are the benefits to outdoor keeping? In general, it's easier to give them a much larger area than you could inside. They can have natural substrate and tortoise edible plants growing in their enclosure. They experience a more natural life with sunny and cloudy days giving variable UV, thunderstorms, temperature and humidity variation, wind, the ability to dig, and just overall enrichment. We've seen behaviors outside, like tilting the shell towards the sun on chilly days, or climbing bushes to reach higher leaves that we never saw inside. Pulling leaves off of a plant is different than eating a pile of lettuce. I also want to note that you can replicate almost all of these things indoors, so this is not a dig at anyone who forgoes outdoor keeping. To wrap it up, keeping tortoises outside can be a wonderful way to offer them enrichment, but you do have to accept some risks that are not present with indoor keeping.